I've been making content about AI for a while now. Well, not really making the content, but testing it out and putting it online, especially the ones I get excited about. And today, something has really blown my mind. ChatGPT image generation. I mean, yes, ChatGPT has always had DALL-E, its text-to-image sidekick. But the real thing is, everybody thought it wasn't cool enough. It was clunky, it was inconsistent, and nowhere near tools like Midjourney or Magnifique AI. But now, now things have changed. ChatGPT can natively generate images. It's extremely good, it's insanely sharp, fast, creative, realistic, and almost very scary. You've probably heard this before, that graphic designers are dead and photographers are done for. And most of the time it sounds very fake, but this time it feels different. So in this video, I'm going to put the new ChatGPT 4 image generation to the test, pushing it through to see exactly what it can really do, and then asking the very big question: what does this mean for creatives like us? So let's get going. So we're going to test it in 3 different ways. The first way is with product photography, where we're going to look at 3 products I had lying around the house and use them as a case study. The second, we're going to go into graphic design and see how we can use it in UX, UI, into 3D assets, into posters, flyers, and mockups. The mockups though. And then lastly, we're going to use it for general purpose things like turning images into other things like human images into cartoons and funny ads and stuff like that. So let's start with the product photography. So with this, I took my cream, which is the Cetaphil. I took a picture of it with my phone and brought it into ChatGPT. Now, I had to get a reference image because I was trying to see exactly how powerful it is. And this is where the product photographers stop crying. You gotta start crying. Because the prompt I gave it was, as an expert photographer, replace the image on the left with the Cetaphil cream on the right, but maintain the same style and set design of the image on the left down to its crisp details, and also add in some copy that can sell the product, and give me this final image. Just look at that. Look at the details in the shot. You can zoom in all the way and see just how sharp the actual thing looks like. It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. It added in the copy, says hydrate and suits dry skin. Now, typically you need a photographer to shoot this and then a graphic designer to add in the text and details. But in just a few buttons, a click, and a very short prompt, you have a final product. And I think this is good to go. I mean, if you're in the creative industry, you totally understand what it takes to move a product from ideation to final stage. But now the power is in the hands of the user. With a reference image, a picture taken with your phone, you get a final product that is almost good to go. And in some cases, great to go. Let's test out the second picture. Before the second picture, I wanted to see if I could push the AI in a different path. So with the same image, I asked the AI to generate a different version, imagining if this product was made for a summer campaign. And then it gave me this. You notice how in the previous image, because of the dark blue theme, it changed the lid of the cream to all blue. And because of the summer theme, this is a little bit brighter. The top is just like the original version and gave it a more of a summer vibe. Now let's go to the second image. So for the second image, we're going to try it with a Peak powdered milk container. Again, this was lying around the house. I just took a picture with my phone and uploaded it. And I found a reference image on Pinterest that I thought was nice. It's an image of a cream with these miniature people in a green field. This is what I got. So with this, it didn't really add the copy, right? To be honest, I think this is even better than the original one I added in. Especially looking at the details in the original one, there's one corner that looks like it was photoshopped, which makes the cream not look like it was actually there in person. But with this, it corrected all of that. And frankly, I can say this is good to go. This is beautiful. And AI did this in a few minutes. It's insane. Now let's test out the next product, right? I really wanted to test this AI. So far, everything seemed easy. So I chose a picture, which is this one, with this very heavily distorted perfume bottle. which is superimposed on a city with a fisheye lens. Now this is tough. Let's see how well the AI can handle this. Now the prompt is the exact same prompt. To pick the left one, replicates on the right. And this is the image I shot myself. It's a picture of a perfume I had lying around. And then, actually, I thought this was going to stress the AI. But looking at the final image, I mean, it's not really close, so close to the reference image. But boy, the quality is insane. It got the idea, it twisted the angle. Because notice, the picture that we gave it is a straight shot of the perfume. But now it created a side angle. All those are a little different, but it really resembles the exact same perfume. What really impresses me is the fact that it's able to get text. For over 3 years now, I've suffered with AI trying to reproduce text. But with this, not only is it reproducing the text, it's actually cleaning it up and making it even sharper than the original. And that's insane. Let's move on to something else. Here are some more images I tried out. This is the reference image, and this is the original. Let's go through a couple of them, and then we move into the graphic design. So I think when I got to this point, I was almost convinced that it's great at images. But because I noticed the text was really great consistently, I decided to try it out in typography. So for the next image, I took it a little bit further. You know those images on Pinterest where it's like a brush font that is written with multiple colors, and you never seem to find the font or how they did it. So today, I got a funny idea. Let's pick one of those images and let's ask ChatGPT to use it as a reference and create something else. So I uploaded the image into the software and said to use the same style, but instead of the writing, I think this one, it says, I just blew myself. I asked it to use the exact same style, but write in Ghana is always summer. Let's see the results. The final results, man, Charlie, I don't know what to say, man. This is way beyond any expectation I had waking up this morning, right? If someone told me that I was going to wake up this morning to meet a tool that perfects typography to this level, and all it takes is for me to type in what I want in plain English, no gimmicks like you do in Midjourney, nothing, just simple English, and it gives you this level of quality, I'll say you were lying. But now I'm experiencing it for myself and I just can't seem to place it. Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I mean, if you're a graphic designer, you will understand that one of the most difficult things to achieve in typography is lockup. Now, lockup is how you actually let the text work cohesively in a group of words. In this case, in Ghana, it's always summer is a group of words, and the lockup would be how to place the in, it's always summer, and have everything feel cohesive. But the AI did it so impeccably that I really can't find the fault with it. Now I can grab this, take it to my flyer, my poster, my billboard, my social media, anything else that I want, and all it took was $20. $20 for ChatGPT Plus and basic prompts, of course, and a reference image. But we're going to talk about that again because there's a part of this that feels like stealing. And I'm not going to lie, because you pick the images online without the permission of the creators and just ask ChatGPT to make a copy. In actual words, yeah, we all actually to steal it eventually. Disclaimer, all this is for educational purposes only. I'm not stealing any artwork. But it brings up the question that has always been on everybody's mind. Is AI stealing people's work or are we stealing people's work? You guys can debate that on your own. But the result is impeccable. Now let's move into other spaces. So for 3D assets, right, when you're doing graphic design, sometimes you need 3D assets. And it's super difficult to get it if you're not somebody who knows how to make 3D things on your own, or if you don't belong to any community or group or subscription that provides you with 3D assets. So I said, let's test it out. Let's see if this can actually generate some 3D assets for you. And the results, again, mind-blowing. So here's the reference image, and here's the other example of what it created. So for this specific one, I did not specify how many people I wanted on the bicycle. So it gave me just one image of people on the bicycle. And it looked great, but I could go further. And this is why I think the interesting thing happens, because once you give it a prompt, it doesn't end there. You can continue to engage it and ask it to clarify itself or create more better prompting for it to give you a better image. So in this example, I asked the AI to put every family member on its own bicycle, and it did. And also I asked it to put them in African outfits. I didn't specify, so it gave us this option, which I think is a little bit like a stereotype, but just with a standard conversation, we got this final product, and that's crazy. So I went on to try something in food. And now this is an example of the reference image I used, and I asked it to create some plantain and cocoyam leaves. It's looking great. And then I asked it to create fufu, but it put the fufu in a bowl and put the bowl in another soup. So then I asked it to take away the bowl and leave just the fufu and add some chicken and 2 eggs, Ghanaians and eggs in fufu. I don't know when that happened, but it slaps. So let's just move on. And then they created that version as well. And I think that's crazy. So as I'm doing all this, I'm getting more interested, right? So I tried something else. I decided, why not use it to generate mockups, right? Now, there are mockups that sometimes you would find, but the style does not necessarily fit the branding project you're working on. So I found this specific one right here. It's dark, it's moody, it's beautiful, but it wouldn't fit for the type of brand I was working on in the moment. So what I did was, I asked the AI to switch it up, to give me a day version, to switch the black background to a wooden grain background that looks realistic, and the results, judge for yourself. As usual, like it's so easy that it feels like I'm cheating. You know, when you do something that's so easy, you begin to feel like you're cheating. That is the exact feeling that I'm getting right now every time I hit enter and see the results from this new version. It's crazy. Now the final version is when I'm using it to do certain things like replace pictures of people. Now I think here it's not so great, but I tried it with more popular people and it kind of generates them pretty well, right? So maybe perhaps ChatGPT doesn't like me or doesn't know my face, but this is the first option. So this is a poster that I took online. It's a film poster for the Netflix movie, The 3-Body Problem. And I gave it a picture of myself and I asked it to place me into the poster of the Netflix movie 3-Body Problem whilst maintaining originality to how I look. I mean, the design side looks great. Everything about it is perfect. Like, it looks exactly like the Netflix thing. The text, once again, is sharp. The only difference is this guy is not me. Like, he looks nothing like me. I think I look better, by the way, but it looks nothing like me. But notwithstanding, it put all the effects perfectly. And that's insane. The next one was, this is a poster for the movie Glass, if you've seen Glass. And I gave it, again, a picture of me to replicate the exact same effect. And then the final result looks exactly like the original. It looks pretty good, the font and everything. But once again, the guy does not look like me. But it looks realistic enough to pass for any type of brand ad you're doing, which you necessarily don't need to use a specific face. Man, and this is just one day after its release. I mean, if you're watching this video, it's probably 2 days, right? So after testing it, here's what I really think. It's leveling the playing field. Now, the only real difference between you and the next creative using this tool is how creative you actually are. And that's the part AI may never be able to beat. You know, I've always believed that your creativity is your superpower, right? And it's rooted in your life's experiences, the way you grew up, the books you read, the movies you've watched, the places you've been, the things that have moved you, both inside and out. You know, all of that shapes your creative vocabulary, like I would call it. But now more than ever, it's time to beef it up. You know, this is not the time to panic. It's the time to sharpen your skills, read more, experience more, live more. Because with tools like this, the future won't belong to the fastest or the smartest. It belongs to the creative. And if that's you, you're already ahead. If it's not, click the follow button and we'll talk later. See you.